Alright, this is Bram van Overbeke with Future Care Design. I am a permaculture designer and educator based in Greece. We receive around 450 millimeters or 17 inches of rain per year. And that is not a lot. The summers are getting drier every year. So we installed a bunch of earthworks last year. Most of it is a 90-meter long swale, which you'll see in the video, which is around 90 yards, I believe, in imperial measurements. And when it's full, it holds around 80,000 liters or 22,000 gallons of water, which all infiltrates within the next 24 to 48 hours. And over Christmas was the first time that it filled up. So we had a really long and huge amount of rain, which you will see in the video. The swales are full. And yeah, I added some subtitles here and there because I was rambling and I was too happy. And after the video is finished, I will reflect a bit on what this all means. So if you like this kind of thing, if you would like to hear more about permaculture, I will be making videos on planting out a food forest, which should start in around 2 weeks. I'll also be making a veggie garden, chicken assisted composting system, all kinds of other stuff that you might find interesting. Tropical fruits like mangoes and bananas and all kinds of stuff I will be growing. Yeah, duck system, whatever you want. So anyways, that's enough of my ramblings. Let's get on with the video. All right, ciao, ciao.
All right. It's the morning after a huge rain, and I do believe that today, for the first time, the swales have completely filled up. So, as you can see, the water is really high. So happy, so happy. Look at that. Let's see how much rain fell in last night. Oh wow, 150 milliliters. Woo! Ah! Oh wow. I'm getting kind of worried for the people that were not as prepared as this. They're flooded out. Wow. Such a beautiful sight, all this water. A bit lost for words. So I wonder if we had a moment at any point where it was overflowing. I do see water over there, so that could mean that it's the case. I have to get over there on the other side. I must have slept like 2:30 or something. I was walking up and down the swale at some point. I was scared that my wellies would fill up, but they didn't. So there's a mushroom over here, if you look carefully. And there's a mushroom over here somewhere. I don't know if you can see it. Oh wow. This makes my permaculture heart beat fast. Seeing that these olives are gonna do amazing next year. Just know that. Know that for sure. So there's a change that I've been wanting to make over here in the back. It's that we have this overflow pipe. I want to have it all the way on the bottom, obviously, and then this mound over here. I want to remove it. I want to push that back into the swale, so you can basically access that area from here. Yeah, you'll understand why later. We want some access, basically. We want to be able to drive through here. Wow, 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 wow. Woo! This is exciting. That was a Christmas present like none other. Best Christmas present I have ever had. This part of the Swale is a bit lower, so I can do it here without filling up my wellies. So over here, for instance, you see those bubbles? They're coming up from the ground, so still the water is infiltrating at this point. Right now, there's water filtering into the ground over there. See that? Bubbles. Water is finding its way somewhere. 150 milliliters. Wow. So when I went out last night, the swale was just about the same level as it is now. And it was at 80 millimeters at that point. So that tells me that with 80 millimeters of rainfall, this swale can fill up. So there must have been an overflow event at some point. So just want to be careful that I don't get my wellies fully wet. Wow, just walking around in here makes me so happy, knowing that we're storing all this water. Because I cannot imagine that we use 150,000 liters of water in a year. Can you? The sound also. And then imagine that in the future, this triangle here, it's gonna have the duck house. And then in a morning like this, after the rain, I could just open up the duck house. The ducks can come play in here. Oh, it's gonna be so nice. Yeah, I do think that we had an overflow event. What makes me think that? Because I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see it, but do you see that grey, yellowish? That's the straw from last year. And it used to be over here as well. Same for here. This area was not barren. So I do think the water came up. You can see a little bit over here. Do you see that? That's more fine material that was washed up from over here. It was taken away. So yeah, Swale functioned like it should. I did notice last night in the dark that this area of the Swale is slightly higher, like maybe 3 to 5 centimeters. So I'd need to fix that. Overflow functioned like it should. So let's see how far I can walk until I start feeling that my wellies are going to fill up like little swales of their own. This is such a good feeling though, knowing that it works as I want, as I had envisioned. Look at these. This is the stem of a acacia tree, Lucina leucocephala, fully underwater. It feels so peaceful also to be walking here. Look at the mushrooms, by the way, they're happy. And I want to say, it has never filled up like this before, huh? So we've got these mushroom colonies popping. Rose gilled, very difficult name, but it has pink gills. It has. Wow, look at all this water being stored. Sorry guys if I'm being very over dramatic, but this is really, really exciting to me. Imagine that. it's getting very close. Let's see if it's gonna happen. Just gonna keep walking. Oh, I felt the water almost coming in. Oh, oh! My willies just got wet. Oh well, the sacrifices for some footage. I'll get some clean clothes if I want. Wow. Alright, so cold feet, but warm heart. And I cannot say how much so there's the mentor of Brad Lancaster, the Brad Lancaster is a water harvesting permaculture designer in, I want to say, well, in the United States anyway, somewhere in Phoenix, Arizona, I believe. And he mentored with a man called Zephaniah Pirefeseko, again from the top of my head. But this man did similar work, and he said that whenever he was out there in the rain, he would be very, very wet and very, very happy. And I want to say that this is the same. Last night I was out here at 1 o'clock, I took some footage, I ran around, I changed a few things, and I must say that it's the happiest I've been in years, let's just say. I mean, of course I'm generally a happy person. I have had some depressions, but generally I love life. But seeing all of this in action has really, really, running around in it, I was really, really wet and really, really happy. Alright, I'm gonna end on that note. See you later.
Alright, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, if you want some more details, here they are. Let me think. So, in the beautiful metric system, 1 millimeter, which is about the thickness of a nail, if you spread 1 millimeter thickness of water out over 1 meter, you get the equivalent of 1 liter of water. So basically, if you empty a bucket and it is 1 liter inside, it can spread out over 1 square meter of soil or concrete or plastic, whatever you like, and it will become 1 millimeter thick. So 150 millimeters of rain, which you saw in the video, like quite a lot, which is 15 centimeters. It ends up being 150 liters of water. So that is quite a lot. 150 millimeters for us is about 1/3 or more of what we receive per year. So yeah, basically we received all of this rain in around 24 hours. So it wasn't like a condensed, 4-hour burst like we saw in Valencia some time ago. It was a really controlled, slow release of the rain, which was really beautiful. And where we are on the downhill side of a road, and that water that runs on the road when it's raining a lot normally would run down the hill, and then it would enter a catchment, a gully basically, or a drainage canal, and that drainage canal would carry the water out to the sea, which is not very useful for us humans or other creatures on the earth, or trees as well. So we decided to try and intervene somewhat, and we made a hole in our fence, let's say, and the water can enter, and it's allowed to run towards the back of the land, where you saw the beginning of their video, and we are able to infiltrate it into the swale. Now I want to say that the video that I made, the swale had already filled up to almost overflowing at around 1 o'clock at night, at which point it had rained 80 millimeters. And I want to say that our soil is very permeable. The water is very quick to soak in. So before it reached the end of the swale, let's say, like all the way in the end where the olives are, it had to flow across the soil. And when it did that, I could see that, all right, it was flowing there, but at the same time, it was also sinking in. So if you can imagine, like the soil is very dry, like there's, we haven't had a lot of rain this winter yet, maybe 3-4 big rainstorms, around 25 millimeters. I think one of 50 and one of 25 and another 30, something like that. I keep track of these things. So yeah, the rain would flow onwards, and at the same time it's filling in. So let's say that it's halfway into the swale, like the water is flowing towards halfway into the swale. At that point, it's already for several hours, water is infiltrating into the soil because we have such permeable soil. This is not a bad thing. Like, I really love the fact that there's more water being stored. It's mostly an ego thing that I would like to see the swale fill up. Like it's like an accomplishment of some kind that us monkeys or humans would like to see, are the fruits of our labor, let's say. But of course, it's not necessary. Like, if the swale's infiltrating water, it doesn't matter whether it's full or halfway full or just 5 centimeters. As long as water is going into the soil, we are happy. But the fact that we had so much now means that a lot of water was infiltrated. So what I mean to say with the 80,000 liter figure is that if you take the exact measurements of our swale and you take the overflow point, like that, it's completely horizontal all the way along, if you haven't understood that. And I measured, basically, I did a rough calculation of how much water, let's say, one stretch of swale could hold. And then I multiplied that by 90 meters. And yeah, that is basically how I got to that figure. But the thing is, of course, before it fills up, water is already infiltrating. So how much water actually infiltrated into the soil? I don't know. We are able to store inside the empty cavity of the swale, let's say, we can infiltrate, or we can store around 80,000. And then the extra that is infiltrated, it's just a guess. If any of you have any idea how I could measure, like through some kind of pipe, because I can sometimes measure how much water flows in, from the street at least, I could create some kind of mechanism that the water has to pass, basically, and then it could spin, or I don't know, like measure somehow, like you would do with a water meter at the entrance of your house, but bigger. If some of you could, like think of something like that, it would be really interesting to try out. But either way, I'm happy because this is a lot of rain, and it came about 2 weeks before we started planting out our food forest. So I'm very happy about that. Yeah, I made a few mistakes when I was speaking in the video. I adjusted them using the subtitles as much as I could. I hope you can forgive me. It was I had maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and I was super excited. I could barely fall asleep, even though it was 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning. Because yeah, this is the first time something like this happens. And I was very grateful to be walking around there. Like, it was almost a spiritual experience. I don't know, it sounds weird, but my idea of the spiritual is that there's no separation between the physical and the spiritual realm. So basically, I see all creatures as, beings and entities, really. I don't really understand why people need to invent another world in order to understand this one. I see this one as beautiful and spiritual and beautiful enough. And I am going to try in the next years, we are going to try in the next years to create a little bit of paradise here in Greece, and hopefully be an inspiration to other people if they feel like it. Yeah, create a nice legacy or little island of abundance and biodiversity here in Greece. And if you would like to, visit, or if you would like some advice on a property of yours, if you have any problems specifically revolving around water or drainage, let me know, because I do design work. I do design work. Yeah, that's it, I think. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. I will be watching this space like a hawk, like I always do when I release a new video, but specifically for this one. And yeah, I'm grateful that you found it interesting to following along. All right, ciao, ciao.